What's up, YouTube? Well, today we're going to talk about one of the coveted and also somewhat hated materials here in Lapidary, and it's called Fordite. First off, what is Fordite? Fordite is basically, it's car paint that when you were painting the bodies of the cars, the bodies would be on a metal rack, they would get sprayed, they would go through a kiln and get dried, and then from there, the bodies would come off, but the excess overspray paint that remained on the racks from going through the kiln would build up thicker and thicker and thicker to the point where they had to break it off. Well, it became very, very hard because it got sometimes up to hundreds of layers of paint at auto manufacturers. Now, there is several types of Fordite. You have stuff from the auto manufacturers, which most of it goes from a kiln. Stuff in body shops does not. You have boat paints and stuff like that. If you see on eBay, you're going to see some real stuff. You're going to see a lot of fake stuff. We sell some of the Corvette stuff here up on eBay in our eBay store. but nonetheless, you want to try to stick with, if you want good quality cutting material like this, you want to stick with stuff that comes from auto manufacturers. Now, you have different types that comes from auto manufacturers. You have the current production stuff from, say, like the current Ford plants and stuff, which occasionally there's stuff that has bright colors to it, that has bold colors. Most of the stuff that you see out there today has kind of, if you look around and look at the cars today, you see a lot of greens, you'll see a lot of, like duller earth tone type colors, and it doesn't produce very good, or I should say very pretty looking cabochons or whatever you decide that you're going to cut out of your Fordite. However, if you can find it, the stuff from the 1950s produced some fantastic classic colors, as well as the Corvette, which is what you're looking at today. The Corvette is known for being the most colorful, most boldest colors. It's going to give you your prettiest quality finished product when you're done cutting it. One thing that I suggest when you buy rough, I'm sorry it's dirty, but here's some rough we're actually, we cut up, and we're getting ready for sale here. But let me show you, when you buy rough, one thing that you always want to do is you want to buy material that's face polished. And you can see that piece is face polished. Now these are still in the process, of course. They're not, they're not finished and ready to go. But it's actually kind of hard to see here in the video, the colors. But if you're buying rough that's, say, just like this, or, chunks like this, you have no idea. I mean, you see that has a pretty top color, and you know that it's Corvette, or so you may think it's Corvette. There is imitations out there. But when you buy something that's face polished, you're going to know exactly what kind of colors are going on inside. So you can kind of judge in case you have an idea of a color set that you're looking for, or a quality that you have. There's not a real good way to 100% be able to judge the quality of Fordite, or in particular, we're speaking of any Fordite, but we'll say for now for Corvette Fordite, unless the piece that you're buying is actually polished. Now, here's a couple over here that are actually finished, and all we do is basically take them and just window them. And when you window polish them and stuff, the customer can see exactly, what kind of colors are going on inside the stone. Well, inside the Fordite, the paint. So yeah, so it gives you a lot better idea of what you're working with. But there also, occasionally you will see other colors out there. Like, for instance, if you're buying a piece that's, say, like gray. Now, this is Corvette material. But if you're buying it from a seller, you have no idea, is it really Corvette material, or is it some of the newer modern stuff being passed off? So once again, that's just the reason that I suggest that when you're buying it, buy face polish stuff. If you see somebody selling stuff and it's not face polished, just simply ask them, hey, can you face polish, some pieces from me? I'd like to buy this much, or, so on and so on and so forth. But that about wraps it up with just a general overview of Fordite and what to look for, the types. Most of the Corvette I'll add came from 1990 till about 2010, 2012. somewhere in that general time frame. The guy that we actually bought this stuff off of, actually his father worked at the plant, and he acquired this stuff. He worked there for, like I said, from roughly about 1990, 1992, somewhere in there, till up to about 2010, 2012. And actually collected this stuff. So a lot of it was hand sprayed. Some of it came off from the, in the later years off the racks that the robot sprayed. But sadly, they're actually not producing any Corvette. So what is out there is kind of, out there. That's why we bought, so much of it. I bought several £100. But yeah, if you have any questions, comment below. And I thank you very much for watching the Lapidary channel. And if you can kindly like and subscribe. Have a great day.